Lamon's having a good camp, practicing hard. He's had really good recall. I feel like he's really picked up where he left off in the spring. So, I'm excited about his development. He's not taking anything for granted. He's being very good with his communication skills. So, I'm pleased with where he is right now.
And likewise with Brisker, how's he been able to pick things up?
Yeah, anytime you're coming and you're fresh to the program, there's always a transition, if you will. But he's been really good, the last couple practices, and he's really trending in the right direction. So I'm excited about him as well.
What has that competition been like throughout preseason?
It's been fierce. It's been fierce, and it's not just, a lot of guys are talking about Lamont and Brisker, but Jonathan Sutherland's had a tremendous camp, and so has GT, so all four of those guys have really been competing at a high level. They understand that, every rep is super valuable, and, for us to get where we want to go, we're going to need each and every one of them. So it's been great. Competition's been awesome.
How have Joe and Parker and Juwan, how have they changed the complexion of the coaching room?
You talking about the offensive guys? Is that what you said?
Yeah, but overall as a staff.
Yeah, they've been great. New guys. They've been great. Obviously, anytime you get some guys in that's been around, maybe they're new to our staff, but they're not new in coaching. So they've obviously brought some great experience to the room, and they've been good. The chemistry has been great. To me, it always starts that way. Do guys get along? On and off the field, if you will. And those guys have fit into our family very nicely. Coach Franklin does a great job of bringing the right people into our organization. So I wouldn't expect much different, to be quite honest with you.
Chemistry better?
I don't know about better, but it's good. I don't think we had a chemistry problem last year. Chemistry has always been good. And again, I think that's more of a testimony to coach and the people that he bring into our organization. So, but they've been great.
Tim, several of the players have talked to us about creating more turnovers and also turning those turnovers into something. How do you go about working on that preseason camp?
It's just the daily habits, punching at the ball, taking calculated risks when you're attacking the football. Those things typically come in waves. If we had the answer, if you do this every time, you're going to get that. We don't know, but I know this. If we continue to work hard at the fundamentals and the details, usually good things happen, and our guys are really owning that. We're flying to the ball, first of all. We're being physical when we get to the ball. And I think the thing that I know each and every one of them wanted to prove on, once we have the ball in our hands, we really want to turn into offense. We want to try to score. So, we've worked on that as well.
What's the name of that competition you have for creating turnovers, and who's leading it? Can you tell us?
Well, I don't know. It's Coach Pride. I actually told y'all that before?
Well, no, we've heard it from players and
I'm
coaches
just kidding.
before.
We always talk about creating mayhem, talking about takeaways. It's just kind of what we do, and that's how we go about our business. So, obviously the guy who has the most, we have something special for him. So, but it's competition. Those guys love it. They feed off each other, and like I said, so far it's been really entertaining.
It's top secret stuff, though. You can't
always top secret, man. We can't give all our secrets away. So,
what's the advantage of you four guys on defense being together for so long, year after year?
Well, I think continuity is always big. Obviously going on year 4 for me with those guys, and I feel like I know Coach Pride very well. I know what he's looking for. I know what his expectations are, and I think he would probably say the same thing for me. So I think it's unique when you can keep a staff together as long as Coach Franklin has. But I also think that's a tribute again to who he is as a man and guys wanting to be here. But do I think it's an advantage? Absolutely. It's a lot of things that we don't necessarily take for granted. But when Coach Pryor is talking about a particular coverage or a particular defense, I know exactly what he's talking about, and we can go back on experience. Hey, here's how we did it 2 years ago. Here's how we did it last year, and there's quick recall that way.
What impresses you most about Brisker, and is there anybody that throughout your time here that he compares to, that he reminds you of?
Yeah, I don't know. He's obviously has the same, size as maybe Marcus Allen was. He's very, long and rangy that way, but he's his own man. I don't know if I can compare him to anybody. I will tell you this: he's long, he's athletic, he can run. He's not afraid of contact. As a matter of fact, he embraces contact. So we're super excited that he's here, to be quite honest with you.
How important is Garrett's presence in the room and just his experience helping bring him along, just being a new guy?
Well, it's huge. And it's not just for Brisker, but it's for Tyler, Rudolph. It's for everyone that's in that room. They can look at Garrett and understand that not only is he a really good football player for us, but he's also a guy who's really earned it. When you talk about, getting what you deserve in terms of working hard, staying late, being there early, he embodies everything that we talk about, from a position group first and foremost. And those kids see that, it's not just lip service, he's lived it, and I think the guys feed off that because of his experience and because of the success he's had.
Do you see similarities in the position battle this year to what was going on last year at all?
Yeah, I guess to be honest, it's always position battles. I know it doesn't seem like that to the media sometimes, but those guys know day in and day out. As much as I love Garrett Taylor, again, as I stated earlier, Sutherland's having a great camp, which makes GT work even harder. And those guys all know. We came into camp last year at this time. Garrett was actually playing the field, and Nick Scott was playing the boundary. So, we're not never opposed to flipping guys. We're going to always find out, who our best guys are and make sure we got them in position. So the competition is fierce. If I'm being honest, I feel like we got even more depth this year. I think we're deeper than we've been in the past, and hopefully that pays dividends for us.
Is there a scenario where you could see Sutherland and Garrett playing together?
You never know. I mean, you could see Bersker and GT playing together. We're still working through those things. We'll figure it out as we continue to grow and figure out what we're doing and what those guys do well.
You're listed as Penn State's co-defensive coordinator during a game week.
Am I listed?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
During a game week, what kind of responsibilities do you take on that, maybe?
Yeah, I hope I'm a sounding board for Brent. Obviously I've been a coordinator for 9+ years, a play caller, and I think I have some valuable experiences that, I can share. But I think Brent would be the first one to tell you, all the heavy lifting is done during the week. We all have responsibilities in terms of how we break the film down, how we organize practice, and by the time Saturdays roll around, we kind of know what the game plan is, and Brent makes the calls, and I give suggestions as I see, and he has the final say on it. So but I think we work well together.
When you look at the defense as a whole, what do you think is the strongest?
I know y'all don't care that sun's in my eyes just killing me right now, but go ahead. I'm sorry. What you say?
When you look at the defense as a whole, what do you think is the strongest component of Penn State's team this year?
I think we're fast. I think we're fast. I love our front. I think our front is extremely athletic, and they run hard. Our edge guys are tremendous. You look at our linebackers, I think our length is great there. So I think we have a great combination of speed and size. I don't think anyone will look much better than we do getting off the bus as it relates to our front seven. And I think on the back end, I think we have a unique blend of experience and speed and some youth that really has a chance to be scary.
What can make the run defense better this year? Coach Pride made note of that, I think, after the Blue White game, that was an area of focus for you this offseason.
I think just like every year, you're always trying to figure out how you can improve. The reality of it is anything we did last year has no bearing on what we do this year, but I think guys understanding through experience, how we can tighten up some things here and there. Our base coverages, our staples, our run defense, I think those kids understand where the pressure points are a little bit better maybe than they did last year, and I think they're fitting those gaps accordingly.
In terms of Brisker, what is it? Can you put into words what it's like for a guy to go from a junior college program to this level of play in terms of just the defensive concepts and the playbook and all that? It's all the stuff you have to learn to make that jump.
Yeah, I think it's tough, anytime. And obviously, Lackawanna does a great job in what they do. Those guys are really good, and they got really good coaches there. But our scheme is different. It's not exactly the same. He has to basically learn a whole new language. So I think that's the biggest learning curve that he affects. And and for every good player maybe that he sees in that league, it'll multiply, here, not only with us at Penn State, but obviously the teams that he's going to face week in and week out. But, he's a competitor. He stepped his game up in terms of preparation, in terms of, the physical demands that it takes to play at this level. And, that's why we recruited him, because we knew what he was made of. We knew how competitive he was, and we knew Lackawanna had done a great job preparing him. So it's been good that way.
What kind of first camp has Tyler Rudolph had?
He's a freshman. He's had some ups, he's had some downs. But I think he has a chance to really be a good player for us in the future. But again, no different than Brisker. It's a learning curve for those guys, and probably a little steeper because it's not college, it's high school. And where he could get away with some things because of his superior athleticism, he can't necessarily get away with those things at this level. So I think he's figured that out, and now he's just kind of working through it. Getting more adapt to our playbook and all the details that come with being an elite safety at this level.
Throughout the offseason, the defense has been talked about being super fast when you ask anybody. Have you seen any instances of anyone playing too fast, or on defense you just want guys flying around?
I don't know about too fast.
Yeah.
We don't. We love it. Obviously we want to play with great intent and great purpose in everything we do. The way we track the ball. We don't want to be out of control and overrunning the ball. But I don't know that I've necessarily seen that. Have we made every tackle? Probably not. But that's why practice is what it is. We're trying to sharpen that sword. We're trying to get better at our skill set. And if you're going to play defense here at Penn State, you got to be able to tackle. And And the first way you learn how to tackle is getting your tail to the ball in a hurry. So it's been great so far, just playing fast.
How much does Joe Lord factor into coaching on the defensive side of the ball? Obviously, we know he's a special teams guy.
He's helping with the linebackers. You know, Joe's has a variety of different positions he's coached in the past, and you know, he has an opinion on some things that we've done, and he's able to bring some value from some things that he's done in the past. So yeah, he's definitely helping with the linebackers and kind of fitting in where probably needs him to.
What have you?
Do you, with those guys that need to go through a learning curve, do you try to set expectations to allow them to be patient in taking on that learning curve, or do you rush through it?
That's a good question. We're going to always raise the bar. You know, we're going to always, you know, keep the standard, you know, so we feel if we've recruited the right guys, then, you know, each and every one of them are going to try to, you know, get to our level, you know, not necessarily us waiting on those guys. So I don't know if rush is the word, but we're definitely going to make them swim at our pace.
Ones versus ones. Who's giving you the hardest time on one offense?
As far as
Your one defense versus the one offense this camp. Who's been the toughest guy in the offense?
well, I mean, KJ Hamler is obviously one of the best players, you know, that I think in this conference, if not the nation. You know, he's super quick, he's super competitive, he's tough. You know, all those guys have had flashes, to be quite honest with you, which I think our offense is going to be tremendous, you know, and I think it starts with KJ. I think we got a plethora of backs, and, you know, you can probably, you know, shake those guys up, but every day has been one of the backs have shown up. So I don't know if it's been, I could pick any more guys out per se. You know, Pat Firemouth comes to mind. You know, Pat's had a tremendous camp. He's always a tough cover, but definitely KJ is a guy to be reckoned with.
Plethora is a good word.
What's that?
Plethora is a good word. I like that.
Okay.
You get bonus points for that.
Thank you, sir.
We're just talking to Jahan Dotson.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about him from your perspective?
Jahan's
When
my
you put
man.
a safety on him, what happens?
Well, it's a pretty good battle, you know, because he has elite quickness, you know. I think he has elite ball skills. He's definitely one of my favorite players. You know, he doesn't say a lot. He just goes about his business. You know, we can be physical with him, and he gets right back up and, you know, goes back to the huddle. He doesn't say a whole lot. He lets his game speak for itself. But I'm really expecting him to have a tremendous year, and he's really worked hard, and you can see it from his preparation in the offseason. You can see it now, and he's making our safety room better and even our corner.